I think we got a problem tonight. Everybody put your hands in the air. Hands in the air.
What do you want me to do? I'm sorry. I'm back. Oh, hi there. This is Nate from the 80/20 Drummer. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Today we're tackling the drumming of one Mr. Tony Royster. And if there's one track that symbolizes the Royst more than anything else, it's gotta be Show Me What You Got by Hova, aka Jay-Z. And I wanted to transcribe 3 solo breaks from the live at the beer pong party Tony Royster clip that I'll link to below and that you're probably seeing over the top of this as a montage, because there's a wealth of Roysterism to get into there. So first and foremost, the groove to Show Me What You Got is this. 3, 4. Fill, 2, 3. Fill, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So the other thing that Tony does is he'll hit on every 4 on the cymbal so that it lines up with the horns settling into that minor 1 chord. So 2, 3, 4. Etc. And then finally, in the spot where Jay-Z says hands up and wave, the groove is this. 3, 4. And that's a cool thing Tony does. It loops in with what Jay-Z is doing. And let me play that for you without the cymbal and slower. 2, 3, 4. Etc. So putting the whole thing together, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the basics. And then obviously this is big band playing. So the big break at the top of the drum solo chorus is 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Fill, 2, 3, and 4, and. So Tony plays the first 3 kicks in kind of an understated way. He's just hitting the crash cymbal coincident with his beat. And I really dig that. It's kind of minimalistic. You can do other things there, but we're keeping it basic. So that would just be like 3, 4. Let me play it without the cymbal. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, the most basic fill you could do in that entire thing would be something like 3, 4. Etc. So that's our starting point, that's our jumping off point, and now I'm going to get into 3 of the breaks that Tony plays in between those figures. Okay, so you'll see me playing these along with the recording. But the first fill that Tony does is 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let me make it even slower. 2, 3, 4. So first, I want to talk about the basic mechanism, and then I'll tell you a couple things to keep in mind when you're trying to play it cleanly. So essentially, the sticking is just this. So it's literally just paradiddles. So that's the first part. And then the second part is this. Gospel drummers would describe that as 1 over 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. 1 over 1 followed by 3 over 1. So you can play that anywhere you want. Etc. So linking the two together. So I would just take the first little bit of that fill, 2, 3. So the second thing I would keep in mind with this is make the sounds clean. What's really going to distinguish this are 3 things. Number 1, that your rack tom stroke is right in the center of the rack tom. Number 2, that your rim shots on the snare drum are clean and perfect rim shots. And number 3, that your tom sweep is perfectly articulated and all the same volume. So it's possible to fuff this up by either slap chopping and hitting a rim on the tom, or accidentally not hitting the rim shots right on the snare drum, or fuffing up the tom sweep. And I recommend practicing this with the metronome on 16ths, with the accent of the metronome on the 16th note upbeat. I think if you're advanced enough to be shedding the Royster, you're advanced enough to play with the metronome clicking on the 16th note upbeat. And just make sure those 16ths are lined up perfectly with the metronome. And so then you've got the 2 components of it. You've got the metronomic machine gun quality that Tony's able to do so effortlessly. And then you've got the cleanliness too, which really cuts through. So the second fill that Tony does goes like this: 3, 4. And that's expressed in triplets, and it starts in an odd place. So instead of 3, 4, 1, 2, and 4, fill, 2, 3. He starts the fill early. So it's 1, 2, and. Right? So that's the bar. You can loop that. would practice this one chunk at a time. So the first chunk I just showed you. The second, beginning on beat 1, is 3, 4. And you can orchestrate this anywhere. It's really just... So it's a very simple combination. And if you watch that Chris Coleman video on what is gospel chops, he literally says it's just combinations of singles and doubles strung together creatively and orchestrated creatively. Yeah, Chris Coleman. So again, as with the first fill, the winners are going to play this in time and play it cleanly, meaning so in the center of the drum, rim shot on the snare and right in the center of the tom, rim shot, rim shot. So the last 2 beats of that bar, the 3, 4, are 1, 2, 1, 2. So then I would put different parts of this together, and I like to work from the end of the fill backwards. So I would start with just the last bar. So that entire thing is 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I would back up the frame a little bit. I'm not going to put the entire thing together just yet. I want to start this out. So remember the first bar, which is 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So you put that bit together with the next bit after that, and it becomes 3, 4. 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. And then you just add the last little bit on. So 3, 4. Right? So the entire thing would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So the last fill is actually a little bit simpler. Because it doesn't start in any weird part of the beat. It just starts on the end of 4, which feels very logical. So if you're playing 3, 4, 1, and 3, 4, then you feel like you start the fill immediately after the last cymbal crash. So this fill sounds like this. 3, 4. And again, let me play that a little bit slower for you. 3, 4. So this is a super easy one to just loop, and you can do it really slowly, and you can do it all between the snare and the hats. So you can do it just 3, 4. Slower. So the 2 parts of the rudiments that are being leveraged here. Hey, that's in my course. So that's in inverted paradiddle. It's also in faster hands, by the way. So inverted paradiddle. And you just add the bass drum. And then you add an accent on the backbeat. So. And it's just that in single stroke 30 seconds. So the one awkward transition point for your hands is going to be between and trust me, it took time getting that up to tempo because your hand is thinking singles and then it's got to think relax, Moeller technique doubles. So I would just extrapolate this as a rudimental practice out of this. And then add rim shots. Once you can do that, make it more difficult. Add both inverted paradiddles. Right? So then when you're playing the actual fill, two, three, four. Two, three, four. And again, in this fill, like the others, you'll be judged by how cleanly you can differentiate your head strokes and your rim shots. So in context, again, this fill is 2, 3, 4. All right, hands up and wave and wave. So I think that's a good crash course into Tony Royster, the Royst, and his playing with Jay-Z, Hova, on Show Me What You Got. What do you want me to do? I'm sorry, I'm back. Anyway, before I get out of here, I want to pitch my Asia clinics, October 10th through 23rd. I think the last one's on the 23rd. So I think the 13th in Hong Kong, the 19th in Bangkok, and the 23rd in Taipei. If you're going to be there, click on the link, holler at me. In Hong Kong, co-presenting with Tara Chung. In Bangkok, very likely co-presenting with this dude, Note Weirachat, who I just found out is a baller. And in Taiwan, stay tuned. So the other thing I want to pitch you on is if you're interested in any of this, any of this sort of gospel chop stuff and getting deeper into playing clean, I recommend two things. Number one is my coaching course, which is like 6 months of study with me for the price of a single lesson. And as a gateway drug into the coaching course, I recommend something called the 80-20 Roadmap. It's your crash course into playing cleanly, playing in time, and having better improvisational flow, and just in general getting your rudimental and gospel stuff together. Some things that a lot of drummers don't have together well enough. And actually, if you listen to Tony himself, he says that a lot of drummers are trying to work on too much fancy stuff without having the fundamentals together. In this lesson, hopefully I touched on a little bit of some of those underlying fundamentals underneath all of the seemingly fancy stuff Tony's doing. Folks, it's been real. For new people who are discovering me through this video, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll subscribe and stay tuned to other videos. Oy vey. All right, peace. See you soon.